Works. All right. Happy Thursday, everyone. It is currently Thursday, November 9th at 12:30 on the East Coast. We are here to talk about gratitude. So this is and I'll tell you who else you're staring at in just a moment, but we've entered a new month, November. Our theme is gratitude that we are exploring in our Prasada talks, in a lot of the newsletters that Alice is sending you every week, and in some of our special programs as well. We'll talk a little bit about one of those at the end that Francine is offering next week. So we're here to discuss gratitude and kick off this month of exploration by talking about the power of gratitude. In case we have not met, I am Meg Townsend. I'm whole being guide with Prasada, and I am joined by Francine Bonjour-Carter. Francine, tell us a little bit about you.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Meg. So my name is Francine. I am French, as you can hear, and I live just outside of Philadelphia with my husband and our two teenagers and a dog and a cat and a few snakes. I am an artist. I am trained in somatic awareness, so body awareness education system. And as an adult, I am thriving and trying to live in a way that can really bring creativity as a way to express who I am, my values, and what life means and is made of for me. So, yeah.
Thank you. And one thing so Francine and I, when we've done some Prasada talks already together, usually we do a little bit of a prep before these, but we've noticed a trend where like lots of juicy goodness happens in the prep that usually makes it over to the live, but also like sometimes the live goes in a different direction. So I said to Francine, are you open to just like not preparing for this, and let's just roll and kind of see what magic arises as we sit together? Because conversations with you are always rich, even when we just talk on the phone, not preparing about things. I learned something from you each time. So I'm excited. So thanks for being here. If you're here with us live, we are doing an experiment. And so I want to just start off. And if you're here with us live, utilize the chat as well. We'd love to kind of have a back and forth with you. Let's all just start by taking 3 breaths together. Slide towards the edge of your seat. So hopefully your feet can be flat on the ground. Let your eyes soften, maybe close. Let's take 3 breaths. Slow inhales through the nose. Long exhales out of your mouth. Do that twice more at your pace. And on this last exhale, drop your attention down into the space around your chest, where your heart, where your lungs reside. And as you notice your breath and tune into this space around your chest, just pause here for a moment and bring to mind something that you're grateful for today. A person, a place, a thing. Bring that to mind. Let your eyes slowly flutter open if they've closed. And so if you're here with us in the Zoom room live, share that in the chat. What's something that came up? What are you grateful for in this moment? And as we wait for that chat delay, Francine, what came up for you?
So I'm grateful for 2 things that go together. One is for a dear friend of mine who left me a little video message this morning. She's having a big transformational week, and it was just so lovely to hear her this morning as I was walking my dog. And so I'm really grateful for technology, the technology we have today that allow me to see my friend who lives many, many states away in the US, see her face, hear her voice, whenever we want to exchange a message. So I'm very grateful for that.
I love that friendship. And it is nice sometimes to remember technology because I can get so
Yes.
frustrated with it sometimes, but
Yep.
it's affording us this moment with these people in here.
Yeah.
So many ways to connect. Yeah.
What are you grateful for today?
I am grateful for today. I am grateful for my partner. His name's John. The last couple of weeks have been kind of tough, and I've just been like processing a lot, and he has really been by my side and supportive and a really great cheerleader, and that's been very helpful to have. Yeah. And somebody here says, I'm grateful for my family, my husband. Somebody just had lunch, feeling full and satisfied, grateful for that. Love it. And then someone says, grateful I'm working remote today. It's cozy. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Lots of different threads about gratitude. I think that's interesting because it shows that we can be grateful. There are so many things we can be grateful for, right? Relationships, places, phase in life. And it doesn't have to be a big thing, right? Being grateful for lunch, I think that's really great. And that's I think the magic of gratitude is it's something we can practice for small blessings we have in our lives. It doesn't have to be a big thing that happens once in a decade, or and so that's really a gift.
Yeah. And I also find it's just a practice, like when I'm really struggling, like remember gratitude, because it is such a powerful,
Yes.
positive way just to shift, maybe not skirt around, right? Because sometimes things are difficult and it's important to be with those, but to find those glimmers of gratitude in those moments, for me, just feels like a bit of a life preserver, a bit of a positive moment, just to, remember that in every moment, something's usually working, right? There's always
That's
something
right.
like, okay, the lights are on. I can be grateful for that. Or like, I'm
Right.
saying I can be grateful for that. Like there's always something to, yeah.
Yeah. And I think that one of the qualities we have as human beings and with the brain we have, our changing brain, is that we can hold complexity. We can hold different emotions at the same time, right? And so we can be in a period of our life that is difficult. We can be in a very challenging situation. We can be grieving. And at the same time, we can also find these pockets of joy and these pockets of gratitude and recognize that, yes, there is this, and that is really difficult and challenging. And at the same time, there is this beauty in my life, this simple thing that I am so grateful for, this friend who I know I can call anytime and they'll be there for me, my partner, the fact that I have food on my table. Like there's always something. And that's why I think we can really create a practice of gratitude, right? And it's not denial. It's not dismissive to the reality of our lives, right? And we all, like everybody know that life is complex and we have experiences of different degrees and different quality, positive, negative, in between, throughout our lives. That's the reality of being human, right?
And it's a really powerful way to anchor us in the present, right? Because so often
Right.
we get in the past, in the future, and ruminate in some way, shape, or form. And so I'd be remiss to not acknowledge my creature who's joined us. In case you see him bopping about, it's usually just better if I let him snuggle when he needs to snuggle. Otherwise, he'll stand next to me. So hopefully you enjoy a fuzzy creature. But it helps to anchor us in the present moment. So it is a mindfulness practice as well, just to tune into that remembrance and the feeling of gratitude as well. And tell us, because you are a somatic worker as well, so can you tell us a little bit more about just the benefits that bringing up these positive emotions in our body has for the system of our body and mind.
Yeah. So there's a ton, like really a ton of research now that shows the benefits on our health and our well-being of gratitude, just that emotion. There's also benefits of joy and creativity and all the things, but gratitude for sure. And it helps reduce the symptoms of anxiety and depression and stress, which we know if these symptoms are reduced, we'll have a better sleep, we'll have better relationship with others, we'll have better mental health. So it's like, it's like a web where everything is connected. And when you bring gratitude in this web, when it's part of what you do and it is a practice, then you can see how the benefits spread on all different levels of your life and different areas of your life. And I do think personally that one of the key points of having a gratitude practice, and it can be every day, it can be once a week or once a month, right? Whatever fits with our lives. But it's one of the key feature is that we take some time to check in with ourselves. We have the intention and the attention that is needed for a practice that makes a difference in our lives. And I am very, it's kind of my soapbox, and I know that Prasada, that's also what your goal is to offer people tools that they have everything they need inside themselves in order to bring these tools in their lives and have a better life and enhance their well-being and wellness. So to take your time to take 5 minutes, let's say, and kind of center yourself, take a breath, like what we did opening this talk together a few minutes ago. Take a breath, think about something, someone, a place, an experience you are grateful for. This will really ground you and center you. And your heartbeat will get, more stable and slower. Your inside, like your inner space will be affected. And the root of the word gratitude is the same than the word grace. And I find that really interesting because when I think about grace, I really have that sense of spaciousness, right? When you give grace to somebody, when somebody has grace for you, there's that sense of, right? That sense of exhale, that sense of allowing space to be there for whatever is happening. And I do think that we can find that in gratitude. And when we come to have this gratitude experience, we make the time, which is very interesting and important because we break with our very fast-paced rhythm, right? We live in a culture that is going, always more, always achieving. And we forget that actually to connect with ourselves and with others and with the fullness of our life, we need to slow down. We need periods of time where we can walk a lot, and we need periods of time where we can slow down, check in with ourselves, and have this quality of presence where we feel that we are here, right? We are here. We have all the things we can be grateful for. And it's all these, it's like connective tissue, right? Like we are embedded in all of it. That's what our life is made of. So the benefits on, our body and our brain and our nervous system are great, and it's available to anybody, anytime. That's really what I think it's the gift that keeps on giving, right? Because you can have gratitude, an experience of gratitude, you can create it in your life anytime.
Tell me a little about this is kind of a two-parter. And just because I know a huge part of your life and your practice is just being in nature, but also tuning into nature, right? To just garner, what are the lessons? What can we learn from spending time in nature, from being in nature? So I'm twofold. one aspect is like, how can spending time in nature help us with cultivating gratitude?
Mhm.
And my second part is a little bit of a wild card because you mentioned your snakes. And I'm wondering, are there any lessons of gratitude you've learned from your snakes?
Mhm.
In caring for and spending time with snakes.
Yes.
Such a fascinating thing for a lot of us. We're terrified of snakes. And Francine is a caretaker and a snake whisperer, a snake friend, if you will. So I'm so curious just to throw that in there for something interesting and different.
Yeah. So I think you don't have to have snakes to connect with the symbolic aspect and the symbolic teaching, I could say, of snakes. And I never thought of that, but actually your two questions have the same answer.
Okay, perfect.
because what I find, what nature can teach us is to live with a rhythm, to live with change, and to live with the seasons, right? We have different seasons in our lives. We have different phases in each seasons of our lives. We have, you can break it down. As women, we have menstrual cycles. We are cyclic beings. I don't know if you say that in English, cyclic, cyclical beings. So I think that's really the teaching from nature, is that it's not always the same. It's not like one linear path that is the same for everybody and looks always the same. So I think it also connects, like being in nature connects me to that sense of spaciousness that I tie with gratitude. Because when you're in nature, it's a way to reconnect with something so deep and essential in its simplicity, which is life, right? Life, the seasons of life and the cycles of life, which we all recognize in nature and we all recognize in ourselves, or we can if we take the time. And it's this awareness that things are breathing, evolving, being birthed and dying and transforming and coming into a different shape. So that is also very much the symbolic aspect that I have learned to reflect on around snakes, because of the growth process of a snake is the whole shedding process. So the snake grows and the first layer of skin will become too small. So the way a snake grows, and all reptiles and amphibians have this process of shedding, which is called ectasis, is that it will outgrow its skin. So the skin will become like too small, and the snake has to slip out of the old skin. That's what happens. So they have to find something that is rough, a rough surface, like the bark of a tree or a stone, in order to kind of peel, and it really comes from the head, peel the old skin off their head, and then they slide off like out like a glove. It's such a fascinating process to me. I think it also talks to the way that sometimes we need rough surfaces, we need experiences that are not comfortable in order to grow, in order to transform who we are and to hopefully find a betterment, right? So find a way to become a better person. And so we can also be grateful if we have that perspective, whether it's looking at nature and the cycles of life and the season, or the process of shedding the skin from a snake. We can have a gratitude for these transformative experiences that we all have lived and will still have some, right, in the future. And because our perspective becomes a little bigger, right? We can see the large picture and realize how it's all a process of growth and growth in the service of our community, our relationship, not just like self-development for a kind of egoistical point of view, right? That's how I see self-growth and self-exploration. So yes, again, this sense of space around gratitude and this realization that even in difficult and challenging situations and times, we can step back, take some time, pause, and realize, okay, this is a transformative situation. And I don't know if everything will be okay. Maybe not, right? There are some terrible things that happen to a lot of people. But by being present and by keeping our awareness also on what we are grateful for, the blessings we have in our life. And again, it can be very simple and small, but the fact that we are noticing really changes how we show up for all kinds of situations. That was a long answer.
No, I loved that because I'm so glad we didn't prepare for this because that was just like really potent of this remembrance of, yeah, grateful for the things that rub us the wrong way sometimes, grateful for the things that are uncomfortable, maybe not in the moment.
Right, because that doesn't mean
all in good time as we process and we transform and really get to know. Yeah, you said that so well, and I needed to hear that today. So hopefully others did as well.
And again, it doesn't mean that we are dismissing or bypassing what we feel. If something sucks, it sucks, right? It's not that. I'm gonna give you a very personal example. 17 years ago, I was working in France. I had a job for 6 years that I absolutely loved. Everything was going great. I loved my job. It did fit me. And we had a new director, and one of like his job was to lay off a lot of people. And so I got fired. And that was like the end of my world. It was totally unexpected. Everybody was very surprised and shocked about it. It took me really down. And that allowed me to go to a retreat in Spain. I was doing some martial arts at the time, and we had a retreat, international retreat in Spain in July, and I used to work in tourism. So in tourism, you do not take your vacation in July. So that was totally off for me. But because of my new situation, I was able to go. So I went. And I met somebody who lived in the US, and we connected. And now I'm here, and he's my husband, and we have 2 children.
We know where this is going. I'm so grateful you lost your jobs.
I know, but
that's
right. Now I can honestly say that it was the best thing in my life, really, because I would not have done my life with anybody else and anywhere else. But at the time, I was so lost and I was so shocked, and so you never know how things turn around, and gratitude can show up years later and be like so genuine, right?
Yeah, it can show up later in the moment, and it can just really be a tool to just support us as we navigate whatever it is that we're navigating.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely.
So we have just a couple minutes left, and I really want to touch on before we end for the day, because you're an amazing writer and bring that to the world. And so next week you're doing a special program with us, Reconnect Gratitude. And this is also something you do with your business. This is kind of your quarterly or your throughout the year offering that you do, this Reconnect letter writing program. So I just love to hear just a little, maybe a minute or so about the power of writing when it comes to and when it intersects with gratitude.
Yeah. So yes, letter writing is kind of my thing. Well, first, to write a letter, it's an embodied practice. So you are very grounded. You really connect with your body. And our brain, hand, eyes connection, we know from, children and the whole developmental stages is super important. So when again, the whole process of writing a letter will bring you into your body in a way that we don't find with a lot of practices anymore, because we are very technology oriented. So it helps you slow down, be present. Like there's movement of your hand, which, as I said, there's a big neurological connection there. And showing appreciation through words, it's a both, so it goes both ways, because when you write, you're open, you have that kind of vulnerability that I think is a strength, right? That makes you more authentic, more connected with your deeper self and your life. And then knowing that the person who will receive your letter, first of all, receiving a letter in your mailbox, a paper letter, is just, now it's amazing. Like when that happens, we are filled with joy and gratitude and happiness, because receiving somebody else's words on the paper is very rare and it's very special. It's a very intimate connection with people to write and receive letters. So what we'll do is I'll guide you through different steps. We'll kind of do a meditative practice to be here and start the process. I'll give a structure so people know, if they don't know how to start, how they can start. If they get stuck at some point, how they can come back with the flow of writing. You don't need to be, like, we're not going for the Pulitzer Prize, right? This is not about being a good writer. It's about being a human being who wants to connect genuinely, authentically, and in a heartfelt way with others and with yourself. That's really important. So that's what we do. That's what I do in my Reconnect program, and that's what we'll do next week. So it's gonna be great.
I just put in the chat for everybody who's here live the link to the form to sign up for next week's program if you haven't already, and then a link for Francine just to kind of check out the bigger Reconnect program if you're interested.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions? Somebody said, oh, they
Yes.
definitely write and journal when they feel gratitude, and you have many journals. I love it.
Yeah.
Anyone have any,
do.
anyone want to share a question or anything in our last 2 minutes?
Gratitude journal is a great way to practice. And you can do gratitude note. It doesn't have to be a whole page, just one phrase, I'm grateful for this today or this week. Yeah, something simple.
Someone on our team, on our core team, started that, and I believe she still keeps it up, and she really loves it. That's like her core sort of whole being practices.
Yeah,
list a couple things that she's grateful for every day, and
that's great. Yeah. And you can have a different practice with the seasons, right? I really like to work with the seasons. So when it's like in the spring, for example, what I love to do is to sit outside with my coffee or tea on my steps. And sometimes I just stay 10 minutes, sometimes half an hour. My dog usually joins me, and I come in an appreciative state of mind, right? So I look outside, I see the trees, I see some people walking the street, and I'm just here to be here, be present, and appreciate what is around me.
I love it. Somebody says they do post-it notes around the office, reminding you to be grateful when you're having a challenging day. I love that.
That is great. Yeah. You can also put a post-it note maybe on your coworker's desk, right?
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Just a little.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something you're grateful for that they did for you. Like, thank you. Or maybe not even that they did. I really like to thank people just for like who they are.
Yes.
Your smile brightened my day, or,
yeah,
you always saying hello means a lot
that's
to me.
right.
Thank you. Just something that's intangible as well as tangible. There's so many creative ways that you can.
Yeah. And it really makes a difference. It really does make a difference for people to hear that they bring a little little glimmer, little joy to somebody's life just by being who they are.
Yeah,
Such an
absolutely.
important message.
Oh my gosh, we could talk forever and I wish that we could, but it's 1 o'clock. So we will tie a bow on this gratitude piece. And what I'm taking away is make time for it, even if it's just a minute or 5 or 30, whatever you have. I love that you've got teenagers and you work and you're driving them everywhere and you're doing lots of things. So like you're proof that we can
We can do it.
we can do a lot. It doesn't have to be forever.
No.
A
Yeah,
little time every day, even if it's just what we did at the beginning. 3 breaths,
exactly.
something I'm grateful for right now, and then be on with your day. Or it can be longer if you have longer. Make time and really use nature as a way to like drop in and find when it's time ways to be grateful for what's been hard and see that. Thank you all so much for being here. Everybody's saying thank you. We will see you again soon. So next week, Friday,
Yes.
12:30 to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please be with Francine. You can sign up and you'll be writing some letters of gratitude. So until our paths cross again, please be well. Thank you so much, Francine, for your time, for your wisdom. It's a pleasure as always. And we'll see you all again soon. Take
Thank
care.
you. Bye, everyone.